one of the new exciting members of the squad that I am actually looking forward to hearing from once he gets into Congress, Jamal Bowman. Now, Jamal Bowman is going to be representing the New York, I think, 16th district. And he took out, if I remember correctly, Richard Engel, who had been there for basically forever. Bowman is a lefty. He is a lefty's lefty. And he is apologetic about being a lefty's lefty. So, when you get a lefty's lefty on national television, let's say on something like CNN, and you ask that lefty a question, and you bring up the name Rahm Emanuel, what is he going to say? Is he really a true believer, or is he going to shirk away from a certain responsibility that is expected? You go and you come back with your shield, or you come back on it. What is Bowman going to do? Bowman is going to tell you exactly what he thinks about Rahm Emanuel. And within the context of that conversation, somewhere along the way, as he's revving up, beep, he's cut. Seriously. Rahm Emanuel is basically a skank. We don't even need to get into the Laquan, basically hiding an execution murder by cop in Chicago. But it goes beyond that to various failures in education. And there's another one that is extreme that I have no idea how Rahm Emanuel was able to escape from public scrutiny on that particular issue. But first, I want to show you the clip. Jamal Bowman, a new representative that's going to be in Congress, new member of the squad, proud new member of the squad, gets cut on CNN as he lays into Rahm Emanuel. Now, keep in mind, the reason why Rahm Emanuel came up is because Biden was talking about bringing Rahm Emanuel into his administration. Again, Rahm Emanuel is a cantankerous skank, and the idea that Biden will bring him in gets this notion of how tone deaf he is, or how little he give a shit about the opinions of the left. They asked Joe Biden whether or not Sanders or Warren was going to be brought into his administration. He says, look, we got enough representatives of the left, but nothing is off the table. No, that's off the table. Bowman, however, is going to give you his 2 cents about Rahm Emanuel. And apparently it was too much for network television. Welcome to the soapbox. My name is Jamarl Thomas. This is the Progressive Soapbox. Guys, if you dig this content, please like, share, and subscribe. You can always support this content through PayPal or Patreon. This content is brought to you by you, and I appreciate the opportunity for allowing me to do it. By the way, we're going to have our contributor appreciation show tomorrow at 12. This is the first show that I think we've had in like 2 months. And of course, people who've been following the show knows I was ill for several months. It took a while for me to get back up to snuff. And I've been trying to work this stuff out. So on tomorrow, Thanksgiving, we're going to have the Thanksgiving contributor appreciation. Yeah, let's go with that. But first, today, Bowman. So Bowman discusses Rahm Emanuel. Now, CNN, apparently they want to do due diligence because this became somewhat of an issue. And it was reported that lefties flipped out over the idea that Biden was going to bring Rahm Emanuel back into the administration. Because, after all, he was in Obama's admin. Lefties flipped out. And supposedly, Biden backed away from it and was going to put him, as somewhere where a cantankerous skank can basically get a buck on a government dime without necessarily being in the limelight. Rahm Emanuel, in the same way I am telling you what I think about Rahm Emanuel as calling him a cantankerous skank, Jamal Bowman is going to give his sanitized version of the exact same conversation that I just had with those 2 words. Cantankerous skank Rahm Emanuel. Let's hear Bowman's perspective.
See anyone that's progressive enough for you?
Well, first, let me say off the top, thank you so much for having me. When I hear names like Rahm Emanuel being floated as part of Biden's cabinet, considering the fact that he covered up the murder of Laquan McDonald in Chicago, considering the fact that he closed over 50 elementary schools and 30 mental health institutions, it's incredibly alarming and
And just like that, the interview is over. Just like that. He's revving up. He had more. He had more. He had more. And beep. Now, I don't know what CNN's excuse is going to be here. I have a hard time believing they're going to say he was laying too much into Rahm Emanuel, and Joe Biden may bring this guy in. And in the same way, we've been protecting Biden this entire time, and we've basically assisted him to the White House. I mean, for God's sake, the loving coverage that the media, and for that matter, the non-antagonistic coverage that the media basically bestowed upon Joe Biden is worth billions, as opposed to going after everybody else. Not to mention the hateful attacks on Trump for the entire way through. But Biden, he always gets the soft glance. Cognitive glitches, those are just gaffes. He's hiding in his basement. No, he's just being safe from COVID. Trump is being unsafe by going out into the crowds. It's this nonsense. And so, is it we going to cut him off because Biden may actually bring Rahm Emanuel into his cabinet? He doesn't give a shit about progressive opinion under normal circumstances. Why would he care about this? Or was it a glitch? Or was it a glitch? Here's the thing. Do you remember when the water situation in Flint, Michigan was occurring? Well, it wasn't just Flint. It was also Chicago. Chicago is like the third largest city in the United States. And when Rahm Emanuel became aware that there was widespread lead in the water in Chicago, what do you think Rahm Emanuel did? Do you think Rahm Emanuel did what was necessary to get rid of that, or do you think he covered it up? Well, he has a history of covering up stuff, right? He was covering up the execution of a black man, trying to make it look like as if, nothing to see here, folks. If it wasn't for a whistleblower, that still would be hidden. That video would be hidden. He did the same thing with this. So Chicago, widespread lead in the water. Rahm Emanuel, as mayor, covered it up. City testing of Chicago homes with water meters found nearly 1 in 5 samples had brain-damaging lead in their tap water. But Mayor Rahm Emanuel's water commissioner acknowledged Thursday that the city continued installing new meters after learning about the alarming results in June. Disclosure of the previously secret study of 296 metered homes comes after more than 5 years of denials by Emanuel and his aides that the nation's third largest city had widespread lead problem, even as a scandal in Flint, Michigan drew national attention to the hazards. And other research in Chicago consistently found the toxic metals in the drinking water. Cantankerous skank Rahm Emanuel. Think of the brain damage. Think of the difficulties in regards to violence or crime. For the matter, think of the disabilities in regards to learning capabilities. Like, these are things that people have to deal with. We saw this stuff in Flint, Michigan. People got in trouble for Flint, Michigan. And the mayor, Rahm Emanuel, who knew about this stuff and hid it, walks. No consequences. And fails upward to such a degree that Joe Biden considers bringing him into his administration or his cabinet. AOC, Bernie Sanders, the Sunrise Movement, many of these other lefty groups voted for Biden, pushed for Biden, and told their supporters to go out and do the same. And they put no expectations on him in regards to what they demanded, meaning regarding policy. They demanded nothing. And so now they're going to get nothing. And not just nothing, they're going to get less than nothing. Because people like Rahm Emanuel is either on the table to come into the administration. And it's very possible that Biden tells all of you to kick rocks and bring him in administration anyway. And what are you going to do about it? Nothing. Like, share, and subscribe to Jamal Bowman. Keep speaking truth to power, and you will always have support on this channel. Hit that like button, hit that share button, and definitely hit that subscribe button.